Imagine, it is 3:45 in the morning. You are on final approach for landing. Your eyes are open and your hands are on the controls, but your brain has just gone offline for a few seconds. No alarms, no warning, just a silent lapse. According to aviation fatigue researchers, this exact moment has contributed to runway overruns, unstable approaches, altitude busts, and fatal crashes. And the most dangerous part is that the pilot often does not even realize it had happened. In this video, we will briefly review one of the most influential books ever written on this subject, Fatigue in Aviation, A Guide to Staying Awake at the Stick, by Dr. John Caldwell and Lynn Caldwell. This book is not based on opinion. Instead, this is based on science, accident data, and decades of operational research. Dr. John A. Caldwell Jr. is one of the world's leading authorities on fatigue in aviation and military operations. He has been advisor to the U.S. Air Force, Army, Navy, NASA, and civil aviation authorities for over 25 years. This book was first published in 2003. It became a foundational reference for fatigue risk management systems, or FRMS, long before most airlines even acknowledged fatigue as a safety threat. The authors dedicated the book to military and commercial aviators, and they make one thing clear from the start, that fatigue is not a weakness. Instead, it is pure physiology. This book explains that pilot fatigue comes from three main drivers. First is extended duty periods. Studies cited in the book show pilots routinely remain awake for 20 hours or more, even when legal duty limits are technically respected. Second is circadian disruption. Flying at night, early report times, time zone crossings, and rotating schedules force pilots to work directly against their biological clock. Third is insufficient sleep, not poor sleep, not bad sleep, simply not enough sleep. The authors emphasize a critical point, that fatigue is not about being busy or bored. It is driven by two physiological systems. One, the homeostatic sleep drive, which builds the longer you stay awake. Two, the circadian rhythm, which dictates when your brain wants to sleep, regardless of motivation or professionalism. Remember, your willpower does not override your biology. One may ask what fatigue actually does to pilot performance. This is discussed in one of the most powerful sections of the book, explaining how fatigue degrades aircrew performance. The authors explain that fatigued pilots experience slower reaction time, reduced working memory, narrowed attention, poor decision-making, and critically, microsleeps. Microsleeps can last for 2 to 20 seconds. At cruise, that implies traveling several miles, with no conscious control. Research cited in this book shows that between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. local time, microsleeps increase by 10 times compared to daytime operations. Simulator studies found nighttime pilot performance comparable to a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. That is legal to drink in some countries, but absolutely unacceptable in the cockpit. Next is accidents and hard data. Now, this is where the book becomes little uncomfortable. According to the authors, 4 to 7% of civil aviation accidents involve fatigue, whereas 25% of U.S. Air Force night fighter Class A accidents were fatigue-related, and 12% of U.S. Navy Class A mishaps were linked to aircrew fatigue. Furthermore, the book refers to several major accidents, including Korean Air Flight 801 at Guam in 1997, where crew circadian disruption, long duty periods, degraded situational awareness resulted in 228 fatalities, and American Airlines Flight 1420 at Little Rock in 1999, where fatigued crew operating late at night continued an unstable approach in a storm. 11 people died in the accident. The authors have also cited NASA ASRS reports, where pilots repeatedly describe altitude deviations, wrong runway landings, missed clearances, and fuel miscalculations, all attributed to fatigue. Remember, these are not rare cases. Instead, these are systemic patterns. Here's a very pertinent question. Why regulations alone do not fix fatigue? A key argument in the book is that duty time limits are blunt tools. They do not account for time awake before duty, quality of sleep, circadian lows, cumulative sleep debt, commute time, or night operations. It implies that two pilots can be legally fit for flight on paper, yet one may be functionally impaired due to fatigue. The authors also warn that automation does not solve fatigue problem. In fact, highly automated cockpits can make it worse by increasing monotony and reducing stimulation. Therefore, remember, technology cannot replace alert humans. Lastly, authors suggest workable solution. It is important to mention that the authors are not pessimists. Instead, they are very practical. They advocate scientifically validated countermeasures, including 1. Sleep optimization as the first line of defense. 2. Strategic napping, including controlled cockpit rest. 3. Proper schedule design, aligned with circadian science. 4. Light exposure management. And 5. Judicious use of caffeine and, in specific cases, approved stimulants. Moreover, contrary to the blame culture, they emphasize on introducing fatigue risk management systems in all aviation organizations, implying that fatigue must be managed, like weather or fuel. Dear viewers, the central message of this book is simple and easy to implement. 1. Fatigue is predictable. 2. Fatigue is measurable. And 3. Fatigue is manageable. This is possible only if aviation stops pretending that professionalism can override human biology. This book explains not just why accidents happen, but why good pilots make bad decisions when they are fatigued. And in aviation, that knowledge can help save lives. Therefore, if you are a pilot, instructor, safety manager, or accident investigator, this book is a must-read for you. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.